What is happening, guys? Monty Martinez back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So, guys, quick video now for yourselves. Seeing your comments. Thank you very much for the subscriptions. The channel is just continuing to grow, so very much appreciate it. But just getting into it, guys. Quick points about dating mistakes in respect of fragrances. And one thing I've noticed, guys, is that some of you guys in the comments seem to be very focused on value for money when it comes to these things. And it makes me just to want to ask the question, what is, just from your perspective, I mean, I can put out whatever I want to put out, but for you guys that, you know, making the chats in the comment section, what is it that you're trying to achieve from a fragrance? What is your ultimate goal for a fragrance? Is it to have longevity? Is it to have projection? Is it to have value for money? Is it to have sillage, more complexity in the way that the actual fragrance breaks down? What is it that you're particularly looking for? Because that will help me also when I do my videos to try and get into detail regarding that. But equally, ultimately, from my perspective, guys, I don't know about some of you guys, but from my perspective, it's also about what the ladies' reactions are as well. And I know there's loads of different videos, and you know my videos, guys. I'm going to get some more ladies' reactions up shortly. I say I had to just sort out my equipment. But for now, guys, I mean, one of the biggest mistakes I think that some of the guys are making, and one of the biggest mistakes I think when people ask me questions now about fragrances in work, or they see my videos and people actually asking me, you know, just randomly, what do you think about this fragrance or that fragrance? Ultimately, guys, from my perspective, it does come down to, number one, wearing something that you're comfortable with, but just be mindful that there's no one size fits all. There's no one fragrance to rule them all. We could give different perspectives on it, and I could do a video saying this is my number one fragrance of all time, and then something else comes out and I think, actually, you know, I like this one. It depends on the circumstances of where you are. It depends on what the type of energy you want to give off as well. Some fragrances have maybe a very heavy leather note in there, have a tar note, whatever reason, and you know, it works for some people. Maybe work in the winter months, but it won't work in the summer months. Now, I think one of the biggest mistakes guys can make in fragrances, number one, wearing something that you think the other person should like because you spent a lot of money on it. Doesn't work that way, guys. You can pay £200 for a fragrance, and ultimately it doesn't really have much going for it. Prime example, in my opinion, is Aventus Cologne. Not much going for it at all, guys. Didn't project, didn't have anything to show, in my opinion. And if I spent nearly £200 on a fragrance, and just because I've spent £200 on a fragrance, I expect a lady to say they like the fragrance, that's a bit of a mistake. I think also, guys, the second mistake I think that people can make, especially in respect of dating, is the feeling of overspraying. You don't have to really overspray a fragrance, guys, if you want someone to smell it. And ultimately, it depends on the projection of the fragrance. But if you're close enough to the person, really, you don't want to overspray. It's a little bit much. So I think just be cautious on that one, guys. And number three, I want to say as well, it's not just about dating, but number three, there's more than goes into it than just the fragrance, guys, when it comes to this stuff. Obviously, your personal hygiene, shouldn't have to get into that, but by all means, man, brush your teeth, keep yourself in shape. If you can, it's not easy, but try and maintain a level of personal hygiene. The fragrance is only going to mask your personal smell to an extent, the pheromones and everything else that you give off. But at the same time, guys, you know, you got to try and keep it 100 with yourself. One thing I want to say, guys, as well, I've just, by way of example, this fragrance, I know there's a recent video, I've not even looked at the video. Jamie Fragrance, I think, put up a video about mentioning something to do with this fragrance. I've not even looked at it yet. I'll probably watch after this video. But ultimately, guys, I was wearing this, for example, just the other day. This is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. This is a well-renowned fragrance for that barbershop type of vanilla, type of tonka bean, type of scent. That barbershop element is ultimately what this is. And I think this is a classic. The compliments, guys, I cannot overestimate or underestimate, I don't know how to explain it, the level of compliments I get for this fragrance when I wear it. And it's always the ladies like it. And for me, this isn't even my favorite fragrance, but this is a fragrance that, to be honest, if I had no choice and I was comfortable and I was going to go somewhere and decided, you know what, I want something just to have as a fail safe, don't know what the circumstances are going to be, I want to have something, this is one of them. And I know, guys, this isn't as expensive as the other fragrances. I know, as I say, you could spend £200 on a fragrance and spend £300 even on a fragrance, and you could actually get more compliments with this than you could for £300 fragrances. Women don't care necessarily that you're wearing a £300 fragrance. I think that's more us guys, we try and focus on that. And especially when you're doing this sort of like, let's say, bachelor lifestyle sort of thing, maybe you're more focusing on maybe saying, if I spend a lot of money and get Tom Ford stuff and this and that, you know, hopefully people will like me and all that. It's not really about that, guys. You need to find what you're comfortable with within your pocket. And again, the purpose of the Zara fragrances in the collection, why I look at what they have to offer, is because it's relatively cheap and you can mix and match. If you don't like one, okay, you've not spent £300, you've not spent £200, £70 on a fragrance. If you're buying loads of different fragrances, that really adds up. But for the cost of maybe £60, you could have about 6 different bottles of fragrances, so you have the choice. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is make sure that you get something that you're comfortable with, but also don't feel like you need to overcompensate for something else by spending maybe £200 on a fragrance, overspraying the fragrance, feeling that because you spent this so much money on fragrance, the lady has to like it, and if she doesn't like it, then she's not into you. It's two completely different things, and that's just from my experience. I can't speak for other people. I can only speak on what I've come across in this sort of fragrance community, from what I'm seeing in the comments, and I'm also seeing the complaints, and I'm seeing the people who are saying this fragrance is good for whatever reason. But ultimately, guys, I mean, is it the fragrance, is it for you or is it for somebody else? And that's what I think you need to decide on, because the fragrances you could wear that you don't even notice you're wearing it anymore, and you're still getting compliments. This one, to me, I'm surprised how much longevity I've had from this. I was wearing this today, and I tell you a little trick, guys, what I've been doing recently, and this works so well. Spray this when you come out the shower. Spray this one on your chest, neck, on your chest, so chest, neck, done. And then spray, and then you put your t-shirt over it, or whatever it may be, or your shirt, whatever it may be, and then spray the fragrance you're gonna wear on top of that one. I'm not gonna say anything else, guys. That one has been working me a treat, and you can see how much juice I have left in it. Okay, so make sure, guys, to say, just a quick one on that, just a little bit of a rant, just a bit of a fragrance talk. Guys, if you do want to add to this and you also want me to review a particular fragrance, or is there a particular topic that I need to get into, by all means, guys, do not forget to leave a comment down below in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. A lot of you guys, you're doing some likes now. I can see the channel starting to build up. Please keep it going, guys, because it helps the channel grow. Again, I'm just giving you my rawest view on it. I don't think there's any one fragrance to rule them all at all. And I think the biggest mistakes that guys can make in this fragrance community, especially when it comes to dating, is things like, because you spent X amount, somebody's going to be better than you, or someone's going to have more sex appeal, or something like that, because they spent £100, £150 for a fragrance. Again, guys, you can get a bottle of this one easy for about £40, £50 in the UK. In the US, I do not know. So you guys let me know the cost of this in the US as well. But by all means, guys, please do not forget, the whole purpose of this, guys, is to try and make sure that we're all having a good time. Don't take it too seriously. It's not necessarily about having something which is ultimately going to be the one thing to rule them all. That's just one point I'm just trying to say, guys. It doesn't work. Ladies like different type of fragrances. It comes off differently in your skin, and vice versa. And there's also a saying about try not to meet your heroes. You meet the hero guy and you're going to be very disappointed. So don't assume that you're going to get that one fragrance that's going to do it all for you, because you could get it, you really enjoy it, somebody else smells it and says they don't like it, and then you're disappointed. Okay, guys, quick rant from me. Ciao.